So the votes have been cast and there were some very strong opinions as to whether we should stay at Sampdoria or move to Fenerbahce. I think we best show you what's happened. Although the voting was close, we've now left Genoa and we have flown to Turkey, to the city of Istanbul, where we are taking over as the new coach of Fenerbahce. Our stay here will not be long. We've got 6 months at the helm to try and win this club its first league title since 2014. This will be a difficult challenge. We are down in 6th place. We are 7 points behind Besiktas, and Galatasaray hover ominously above us, having won the last 8 league titles. So here's what we're walking into then. We've reversed the order of the fixtures so that they run up the screen so that you can see exactly what we're up against in our run-in. Today, we're going to be playing our first game as Fenerbahce boss. We're going to be travelling away to Giresunspor, a club who currently occupy the last of the relegation spots. And on paper, at least, that looks like a winnable tie. There's more good news. We've already played Galatasaray home and away this season, so we won't have to face one of the big clubs again during our time in charge of Fenerbahce, and incidentally, we beat them home and away this season, so that was useful. I think the big games are going to come within a week of each other. We're going to be facing Trabzonspor and Besiktas back to back, and when we look at the league table, we can see that those are the two clubs that are occupying the 2 Champions League slots currently. If we could win both of those games, if we were already in striking distance by the time we got to those fixtures, you never know, a miracle tilt at the title could just be on. Apart from those 2 games, the other thing that we've got to contend with is some Turkish Cup action as well. We're going to be playing Konyaspor in the last 16. All the big boys are still in this competition, but it's our second chance at silverware, which is what I guess is the reason why so many people voted to come to Turkey. Let's show you who's going to be in our starting 11 for our first game today, who we're going to lay out in this very basic 4-3-3 formation, and you can judge for yourselves whether you think that we've got players good enough to have a little run at the title. Bear in mind, we're already out of European competition. They lost in the Europa Conference League to Lille from France, so we're concentrating on the League and Cup to the end of this campaign. Starting us off, let's check out our goalkeeper, Elias Raf Olafsson, a 30-year-old Icelandic international goalkeeper, 6'7", aerial reach of 19, jumping reach of 19. Going to be very dominant coming for crosses. Right back is the area of the pitch where we've probably got the least depth and the least quality. We're going to go with Fabinho today, a 29-year-old Portuguese player who's been unhappy with his playing time. Well, he's going to get his wish with us at the helm. At left back, we'll have a fellow Portuguese, Francisco Moura, physically pretty good again. Getting forward, no complaints. Defensively, we may have some question marks against them. One of our best centre-backs is going to be Zeki Etley, but unfortunately, they're going to be suspended for today's game. So instead, we're going to be relying on Norwegian Jørgen Carlsen, who's won 45 caps for the national team, is carrying a tight thigh into today's game, but they are 6'4", very brave, great jumping reach, an all-rounder, pretty solid stopper. And next to them today, we're going to have a player who could be a right back, but wouldn't be very good going forward. So instead, we're going to play Vedat as our other centre-half. They're going to have excellent pace to try and cover in behind. Their marking and their positioning is fairly good. The tackling is a little low. We're hoping those physical attributes will be able to carry Vedat through the game. Policing the back four is going to be our captain, Hakan Yeşil, 29 years old, all-round solid mentally and physically. Perhaps those technical attributes aren't quite as strong as you would like, but I think Hakan will do a good job. Alongside Hakan in central midfield, we're going to have Miguel Crespo, the third of our Portuguese players. We've got some fabulous mental attributes such as the teamwork, work rate and determination, although Miguel does already have a move to Denmark lined up at the end of his contract. Completing our midfield three is going to be Polish schemer Matthias Prachalek, possibly the least dynamic of our three midfielders, but this time the passing and the vision are a little stronger. On the wings, we've got two players who I think could be fairly useful. This is Umit Ozan. The pace is reasonable, although the acceleration could be a little higher, but check out the agility, dribbling, passing technique, as well as the vision and off-the-ball movement as an out-and-out attacking winger over on the right. I'm pretty confident that Umit might be able to be an attacking influence for us. And over on the left, we have a fellow Turk, the diminutive 5'3" Temel Akdeniz. A little quicker this time, but again, fabulous off-the-ball movement and vision. The dribbling's not quite as strong, but cutting in from the left as an inverted winger, I'm hoping Temel might be able to get himself on the score sheet. And playing an attack will be Konstantin Chukovin. At 5'11", he should be able to lead the line well. He has a jumping reach of 14, but may be able to get in behind the defence with acceleration of 14, off the ball of 16, and when he gets a chance, he has finishing of 15, coupled with composure of 14. So I think we might have a stronger starting 11 at Fenerbahce than we've just left behind at Sampdoria. You let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. I certainly think we've got more attacking weapons at Fenerbahce, and I'm hoping this front three could be quite potent for us, but there's only one way to find out whether this dream of a title is anything other than just folly. We're going to have to get out there and play our opening tie today. Let's check out who we're up against in the Scout Report. To begin our time in Turkey, we're heading to the northern coast and the city of Giresun, where we've got an away tie against the local side. Watch out for Ivorian striker Brian Lasmi, a player that we didn't take to the World Cup in today's game as Giresunspor take on Fenerbahce. So our time at our second club of the season is underway. We are in the dark shirts. We're coming forward early. We've had to make a little tweak to the starting lineup even before kickoff. As I went to submit the team, I found out a rule that I'd not spotted when I was looking through the stipulations for this league, that you're only allowed to start 6 foreign players in the starting lineup, and I had 7 in there, so I've had to drop the Polish midfielder Prashalik down to the bench and bring a Turkish player into his place. However, with less than 3 minutes on the clock, it might not have made a difference. We could be looking for an offside here. Turkey does have VAR in operation, but it might be that Temel has got in early. The 5'3" wide player has managed to sneak in. It's been fed by the striker, and he has just managed to squeeze it past the keeper. I thought he'd controlled the ball or miscontrolled it, so the defender was going to take it away from him, but he's managed to ride out the tackle, and he slipped it past the keeper, and we are 1-0 up early. We've put a little praise shout out just to tell the players that they're doing well, but the game has gone very quiet so far. We've had 8 shots, 3 on target, but it's taken all the way to the 28th minute till we've got our next highlight. It's our opponents that have the ball. We need to try and get a tackle in. We haven't, and they're through, and they've hit the bar from the second shot that they had in that move. That was a warning shot that we need a second goal. Can we get it now? 32 minutes. Well, let's see whether we are better in the air at the back than we were at Sampdoria. We've dealt with that well. Crespo feeds it out to Umit, and we've got Temel in again. This little guy, he looks pretty sprightly, and he has stuck the ball back to Ali Akgul. That is the player that I've bought into the team to meet the quota of Turkish players that I need in the side, and he's popped up with a little finish, and a smart one as well. But how good is Temel looking early on for us? He's quick, he's fleet-footed. Our opponents are coming at us now, though. They're looking to try and respond before half-time. They've got the ball down our left. We're not particularly close to challenging them there. And they've got the ball to the far post. And they have got a goal back. Brian Lasmi has scored it. That was a weak bit of defending. We had a wide player and a left-back. Neither of them got very close to putting in a challenge. And at the far post, well, we've been done in the air. In fact, that was all round pretty poor defensive play. Maybe we might need to have a look at some of our closing down and marking of our defensive players. Maybe we can restore our 2-goal advantage before the break. Vedat has got the ball at the back. He strides forward majestically. A quick 1-2 with Crespo. And now the Portuguese players involved again. Ali Akbar is in again. Umit has a go. That was a testing effort. The keeper has tipped it over. Let's see if the corner gives us a highlight. Indeed, it does. Crespo's going to be on it. It's an outswinger. We can't win the header, but Temel goes all the way across the pitch. Pretty sure he has got the player trait of liking to switch the ball to the opposite flank, and we just saw it there. Don't let them equalise before the break, though. They've hit the woodwork a second time, It was offside, fortunately for us, but it's not the end of the highlights before the halftime whistle goes. They are trying to equalise before halftime, and they have done so. They're going to check it on the VAR. Didn't look offside to me, and we might have stumbled into another club where we are struggling defensively. Here comes the check. It's been awarded. They've tied it up at 2-2. We've given away our 2-goal lead. This is going to completely change the halftime team talk, and we might need to make some defensive tactical adjustments at the break as well, because we've looked a little bit open. It's nowhere near offside. It's just poor defending from our fullbacks, and we've got it all to do in the second half. We need to see a little bit more from Umit in this second half. I think the right winger wasn't really involved that much, but here's a player who was. He's now picked up his second goal. He wasn't even in the starting lineup when I showed you the team before the game. It's only when we had to move our Polish midfielder out of the side to make up the quota of Turkish players we needed that he came into the side. It was as big a surprise to him as it was to us. That one's got to be close to 30 yards out, and he's drilled it into the bottom corner of the net. I've just taken a rather long pause there while the bin men collecting the recycling. Why they're doing that during a Turkish Super League game, I have absolutely no idea, but it's given me time to get the Turkish top flight results up on screen rather than the Serie A results, which you were probably screaming at me for much of the first half. But look at what's going on. Although Trabzonspor are in the lead, Besiktas were 2-0 down in their game against a team in the relegation zone. They've tied it up at 2-2 now. But if these results were to stay the same, we would already be closing the gap at the top of the table to just 5 points. We've just made our first substitution of the game. I've decided to take Umit off. He didn't have a great game. Maybe he's not going to be the starlet that I thought he was. But we've managed to give the ball away in midfield. That's not great. We've won it back swiftly, though. I still think we could do with another goal to wrap this game up, given how porous we looked defensively at the end of that first half. We were unable to win the header, but we are now through. And here is Chukovin. That's a good opportunity. The keeper's done well to tip it around the post. Can we do something from the set play? We have still got Crespo swinging them in. It's an outswinger this time. At the far post, we're beaten in the air again. We're not the strongest aerially, although we still have that good defender to come into the side once his suspension's over. I think it's time to make our final 2 substitutions and see if we can see this game home. Besiktas are still tied in their game. We've now brought on Prešelić. Here he is early. We've taken Crespo off as he was only on a 6.5 rating. Yet again, we've got a goal that's going to go to a VAR review. Looked like a clean header to me. Maybe there was an offside earlier in the move. Here comes the check. It's counting. We are 4-2 in the lead. I think it was Carlson that got the header. The Norwegian was up. Temmel sends in a really vicious in-swinging ball. Still plenty of time left in this game. 85 minutes. We don't want to go to 4-3 at this point. Could we try and make it even more convincing by scoring a 5th? Prešelić has looked pretty good since he's come on, and he's just had an effort that's just gone narrowly over the bar. We need to look for that Besiktas result as well. With only 14 games left to go after this, every single drop point could be significant in our little attempt to try and get, well, at least into the Champions League. We have got that 5th goal. Konstantin has scored it for us, so we're definitely going to be picking up 3 points in our game. We need to get back to the Besiktas result and see whether they are still tied at 2-2 with a team that looked like they could be going down to the 2nd division. This was a good volley. I missed who sent the ball in. Could it have been another assist for Temmel? Don't think it was. It was more at the left back. We're going to pause. They are still at 2-2. That could be a great result if it stood. Let's do the team talk and then check out the league table, see how our time in Turkey started. So this is encouraging. It could have been even better. Galatasaray are above us in the league. They've scored twice in stoppage time. Otherwise, they would have been equal on points with us if they'd lost that game. But let's not get too greedy. We started our first game in charge 7 points behind the leaders. We're going to end it just 5 points back, and we've still got 14 games to go. This looks like it could be an exciting culmination to the season. We're going to go away and get a few games done offline, and we'll see what kind of shape we're in when you come back to see us next.